Is Maggie Villette, and I am a kindergarten teacher in Lenexa, Kansas. I have been teaching for 8 years, and this is my 5th year as a kindergarten teacher. Um, just a little background about my school. I am at a Title I school, so a lot of my students are on free and reduced lunch, and while the days can definitely be challenging just because of different situations that my students are in, it is definitely a passion that I have, and I absolutely love working at Title I schools. Outside of my teaching responsibilities, I am also a mentor teacher at my school for new teachers to the profession, and then as well as I'm a part of the PBIS committee for our school. Some big influencers in my life. My mom is definitely a big influencer. She has been there every step of the way, and she has heard the really, really amazing stories and the really, really challenging stories, and she's been there cheering me along the way. My husband has also been a huge influencer as well, because he has been with me through my entire educational journey, and he will listen to all of my stories, whether they be good or bad. He is always there cheering me on, which is great. When looking at the personality test, I definitely agreed with most of the results. My highest category was agreeableness, meaning that I was agreeable and optimistic, which ironically enough I agree with. And I would have to say that I am a pretty optimistic person. A lot of times teammates will come to me with issues that they may have, whether it be with students or whatever the situation may be. And they'll come to me and because most of the time I feel like they know that I will help them find the good in the situation and help talk them through it and just be a listening ear, which then kind of relates back to another one of my highest categories, which was emotional stability. So I like to look at myself as the calm, and I don't see myself getting worked up really easily, and I like to just reflect on the situation and just think about all of the aspects of the situation before jumping into it. And I always then kind of going back, look for the positive in the situation, as however challenging it may be. The lowest area that I got was intellect and imagination, which to some degree I do agree with. However, I would have to say in the classroom I am definitely not conventional and traditional. I like to take risks. I like to try new things with my students. But when it comes to my personal life, I definitely feel like I don't take a whole lot of risks in my personal life, but definitely in the classroom I like taking risks with my students. When reflecting on the leadership theories, the first one that I related to was servant leadership, and I felt like that related back to emotional stability on my personality test. So a servant leader is empathetic, and they are a motivator, mentor, and coach, which I like to look at myself. I like to motivate my students to do well, but I also definitely see myself as mentoring them or coaching them throughout the day, especially with kindergarten. The academic piece, we have that to worry about, but then we also have the social piece. So I am throughout the day many times just coaching and mentoring students through different situations and helping them solve the problems themselves. A lot of times I definitely empathize with my students, because a lot of them are in some really challenging situations. And while they are in challenging situations, I don't let their situations become their excuses. So I like students to take ownership in their learning, and I like to create an environment that is conducive to learning and helping them take risks. Another leadership style that I related to was authentic leadership, which also kind of related back to the emotional stability piece of the personality test. So authentic leaders are self-aware, transparent, and empathetic decision makers. And so in order to see success in my students, I myself have to reflect on my teaching style, and I need to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can for every child and creating an environment where every child can learn no matter what the situation is. So again, I have to be empathetic to my students' individual needs, but making sure that their situation doesn't become their excuse. I am looking forward to learning more from all of you this semester.